Austin, Texas is a great place and has a lot going for it. However, it's far from a perfect city and has been hyped up compared to what it really offers. Yes, the governments or other people only want you to know the good, but what about the negatives of living in Austin, Texas? Hey y'all, and welcome to Across the Globe. Today we'll look at 7 reasons you shouldn't consider moving to Austin, Texas. You're about to discover that the highly popular city is not what it seems. We start our list with Number 1. It's overcrowded. The first on our list is there are way too many people moving to Austin, and it's become overcrowded. Everyone's been filled with the fantasy that Austin, Texas is an amazing place to live. Causing everyone to move there, and the city development hasn't kept up with the rapid population explosion. Statistics show that in a year, the population has grown by 2.3%. As a result of everyone going there, the city has become overcrowded, with many city services being overwhelmed and causing issues for everyday things like water restrictions in the Texas summer. And good luck trying to find parking downtown. A private spot in Zilker Park or a free table at a popular restaurant, Odd Duck. Overcrowding has ruined the atmosphere of the many things that made Austin a nice town to live in. Number 2. Expensive housing. The next reason on our list is how expensive housing is because of low availability. Due to the population explosion, Austin has the hottest housing market in the US, which means it's next to impossible to find a place to live. And if there is a house to buy, it costs an average of $750,000. If you're renting, prepare to battle against half of the population of Austin for an available place, as over half of the city is renters. And expect to pay over $1,700 a month in rent for an 850 square foot apartment. This has caused people to lose a chance to have a house in Austin. In addition, people have lost their homes as a result of rising mortgage rates with being over-leveraged. And to find something affordable, a person has to look at the outskirts of town, which is less than ideal. Overall, the lack of housing has caused housing to be some of the most expensive, and with more people deciding to move to Austin, this issue keeps getting worse. Number 3. Severe weather. The third reason on our list is the severe Texas weather. Have you ever heard of a hot winter? Well, you'll definitely have some of that in Austin. During the winter, you're not sure what Mother Nature will surprise you with when you leave the house. One minute it's super cold, then the next minute it's melting, which basically means a person has to be prepared on all fronts, with clothes for both the cold and the hot weather. But you may be thinking that we're talking about the good kind of hot. It's not. Summer temperatures rise to such an insane level of over 105 degrees Fahrenheit. In those temperatures, even touching your own steering wheel in the car feels like you're touching a branding iron. And if you think that this is an exaggeration, ask those who have been in this city for a couple of years. The weather gets worse during the summer when everything is hot. The door handles are hot, the seatbelts cause burns, the air outside is hot. Everything is just too hot to handle. The only way to survive here is with the most minimal clothing ever. Number 4. Allergies everywhere. The next reason is Austin just might be the worst place for allergy sufferers. If you live in Austin for some time, you might end up picking up an allergy even if you had none. This is because with the hot and humid air, many allergens are floating around and people become susceptible over time. Because of the mild climate, plants are always growing all year round. Not only that, but the limestone of the hill country just upwind provides a great place where mold grows. This makes the air have a lot of spores floating around affecting the lungs of residents of Austin. When it comes to when is Austin's worst allergy season, it runs December through February thanks to the infamous mountain cedar tree. You may feel these allergies kicking in during the rainy season when there's a lot of spores flying in the air. Sometimes these allergies will be hell, and some of them may even make you stay home. So if you're one to have these weird allergy attacks, or if you have any allergies for that matter, you might want to be as far away from Austin as possible. We'll keep our list going with Number 5. Bar fights are common. Austin is known for its bar scene, with 4 distinct scenes: West 6th, Dirty 6th, East 6th, and Rainy Street. Each district offers a unique flavor of nightlife, but if you were to go to a bar and an argument starts, it's better to walk away because it will end in one of 2 ways. Either you'll be arrested for starting a bar fight and beating someone up, or you'll get yourself a proper beating. Bar fights are a real risk in Austin. You'll probably see people throwing a few punches almost every night, and a couple of bottles flying in the air are common. But if you spend a lot of time in bars and want to have a safe, fun time, then this is definitely not the place for you. Number 6. Unspoken racism. When you get to Austin, you'll find that the locals here are very friendly. They'll all be helpful when you need directions or inquiring about something, but don't let this fool you. Yes, there may not be any problems with hate crimes or social, economic, or business discrimination, but there is definitely a problem with racism. But the thing is, it's unspoken. We can say that racism is on the low and the locals don't want to admit it. If you were to ask any of them, you'd notice that they're all in denial about it. There is one cultural view regarding this, and it's, we don't talk about it. So if you move to Austin and you're of a different race, expect to encounter some acts of passive-aggressive racism along the way. Number 7. Peter Pan syndrome. And the final reason on our list of why you shouldn't move to Austin is the constant Peter Pan syndrome. There's a lot of this going on around in Austin, Texas. The effect of this is mostly felt downtown and in the bars. The Peter Pan syndrome is a metaphor that's mainly based on the concept of not growing up. It mostly affects people who do not want or feel unable to grow up. Think of it as a person with the body of an adult and the mind of a child. Now that you get a clear picture of what it is, imagine walking around Austin and you meet some people, mostly middle-aged ones, doing some of the most immature things ever. And it's not just the drinking habits. You'll most likely see behavior that does not make any sense at all, especially if you've lived in a real city with a mature culture. A lot has been said about Austin, Texas, and it's had its time when it was good, but now it's far worse than you've probably heard. You might want to look for a new place to move if you want a better, simpler lifestyle. Yes, Austin has some good things, but here are some things that'll make you consider other cities to live in. It's common to realize that there's a lot of hate about the city once people have moved there. So our recommendation is just don't move to Austin, Texas, unless you enjoy living in a crowded place. Paying an arm and a leg for a house to live, being smashed by harsh weather, suffering from allergies even if you didn't have them when you moved to Austin, always on the watch to not get caught up in a fight, seeing or being the recipient of passive-aggressive racism, or not a fan of a Peter Pan syndrome culture. If you liked this video and want to get more unspoken information about cities and towns across the US, watch these 2 videos right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.